As many times as she'd been bitten, she'd never experienced this overwhelming and nerve-rattling side effect. Trembling and near hysteria, she cried to Jeno, "What's happening to me? Why does he keep saying I'm going to die?" Jeno reached for her hands and pulled her close to him. "I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how much of your blood I gave to my father." "What are you saying?" she asked, afraid of the answer. "You already know." He kissed her forehead. "I shouldn't have allowed myself to drink from you so frequently. My lust for your blood and your lust for my power. But it doesn't matter. Now we can be together forever." "Are you saying I'm a vampire?" she asked, faltering on her last word and feeling suddenly faint. Everyone in the room was watching her. Jeno stroked her hair, the blonde strands in stark contrast with his dark skin. "Not yet. First, you must feed." "What?" She couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. Her knees quivered and barely held her up. "I what?" Jeno's father stepped closer to her with the enthusiastic boy she had met 2 nights ago in the elevator. She recalled how happily he had turned himself invisible and had reminded her of her own excitement over possessing the powers of the vampire. "When a human is drained by one of us, it dies," Vladimir explained. "Unless it feeds on human blood. Then it turns." He moved the boy between them. "You must drink or perish." The girl vampire to whom the boy belonged stood nearby and said, "Don't think, just drink." The same vampire had told Gertie when they had met not to think too hard and too deeply. Gertie remembered her exact words. The girl had said, "Life is what it is. Just enjoy it, dearie." Calandra, who remained at her father's side during all of this, put an arm around Gertie. "The first time is the most difficult. You want to drink so badly, but you are also repulsed. After this, it will get easier. I promise. Just close your eyes." Gertie hadn't expected such tenderness and compassion from someone who had attacked her the night Jeno had erased her memory. Calandra lifted the human boy's wrist, pierced it with her own fangs, and then offered the bleeding limb to Gertie. Gertie stared at the blood in horror, yet her mouth began to salivate and her stomach to growl. She closed her eyes and fought back tears. She'd never meant to become a vampire. How had this happened? Full of sadness, regret, and a terrible longing for the Angelus family and for Hector, she put her lips to the boy's wrist and drank. "Turn me," the boy pleaded. "I want to be like you." Gertie closed her eyes more tightly and gave into the desire to drink as she pressed her lips against his skin and sucked. After at least a dozen or more swallows of the warm, intoxicating liquid, she opened her eyes, refreshed. The room spun and danced for several minutes. She breathed in and out, feeling herself growing stronger. In all the stories she had read, the transformation from human to vampire was usually painful, as the mortal body died away and the immortal one took its place. But she felt no pain. The warm blood moved through her veins, quenching and pleasing every cell in her body. Something was happening to her bones, muscles, and skin. Gertie believed they were becoming denser, harder. Her nails, teeth, and hair grew maybe 1/4 of an inch. In addition to the superior vision and hearing she'd already experienced while infected with the vampire virus, she felt her body become a hard...